Okay, so I have something I need to talk about in regards to the pronoun thou. You might have heard the pronoun thou. It's an archaic pronoun, so that's why you see it in older texts like the King James Version of the Bible or Shakespeare plays. And it's basically synonymous with you. You might even heard of ye, which is also an archaic pronoun, which is synonymous with you. And I think we should return to these archaic pronouns. So I might sound old fashioned here, like very old fashioned, 300 years old fashioned, because these pronouns fell out of use in the 17th century. Um, but I think there are some pretty reasons for returning to using these pronouns. Um, and I have three main reasons. The first one is because I think it makes English more beautiful. In conversational English, we have we're very limited in the vocabulary we use. We only have a few hundred words, maybe actually less than that, probably only 100 words or something, 100 different adjectives, adverbs, and verbs that we use in conversational English. And when we write, in order to make our writing more interesting, we have to use a thesaurus because we're so lacking in our conversational language and we're so uninteresting um, that we have to use a thesaurus. And I think if people started using like thou and thee and started thinking more when they're talking, they would get better not only at speaking but also at writing. And so that's my first reason for beauty reasons. I think that's also why many hymns and poets use thou and thee and thine. Like Nietzsche was, I think he was in the like 1800s, and thou had already gone out of use, but he still uses it throughout his "Thus Spake Thou Zarathustra" book. Um, so, yeah. The second reason is for grammar reasons. So it might actually sound like thou and ye add more complexity to English, but they actually make it less irregular and simpler, I think, for English learners to learn. So adding more elements to English actually sometimes makes it more simpler. That's why languages which are really very, very simple, for example, there's like constructed language which only has like 200 different words or something. They're actually quite hard to use and quite hard to translate, and they become very redundant and stuff. So I've made a pronoun conjugation table. So you probably don't like these. If you take any English grammar, you probably, or any language for that matter, you probably don't like these conjugation tables. But nonetheless, I'm going to use one of these. They're pretty helpful, actually, I think you'll find. Um, so you have first person, second person, and third person for the different pronouns that you can use. So first person is the person speaking, second person is the person being spoken to, and the third person is the thing being spoken about. So first person is like I and we. Second person is like just you. And third person is he, she, it, and they. And we also distinguish between singular and plural for first person and third person. So singular is just one person, plural is a group of people. So you could be just the person speaking could just be one person. So it could be I, me, my, mine, or it could just be or it could be multiple people, so we. For third person, it could be singular, it could be she, he, she, it. For plural, it could be they. But for second person, we don't make that distinction. We only have you. And I think that kind of makes English more irregular. There's no longer a pattern between distinguishing between singular and plural. It's just you. But when you introduce these archaic pronouns, that changes everything. Now you have thou and ye. So thou is the singular second person and ye is the plural second person. So if you're talking to just one person, you would use thou, thee, thy, and thine. If you're talking to multiple people, you would say, so a group of people, you would say ye, you, your, and yours. So I think that distinction just makes everything a lot more simpler. There's no longer a irregularity with that, and I think it could be actually be very helpful to distinguish whether you're talking to one person or a group of people. Like if you're at a party and it could be helpful to distinguish that you're only talking to one particular person instead of talking to a group of people. That could be a pretty useful thing to know. My third person, I mean, not my third person, my third reason for advocating a return to these archaic pronouns is because I think it reduces the gap between formal language and informal language. There's becoming a bigger and bigger distinction between, gap between what is written and what is spoken. What is spoken is becoming simpler and simpler, and our writing is, for the most part, staying the same. It's become simpler over the years, I think. But that makes, if you read a book, it becomes pretty hard to understand, especially for those who are only accustomed to informal language. And I think if people just started using thou and ye, they would have to think more about what they're saying first, especially if you add like the est and eth at the end of verbs. I think that would reduce the gap between that, instead of just making everything very informal, which I think just sucks the beauty out of English. I think that's just a better solution, is just to get people to think more so they can understand the formal language better. So those are my 3 reasons for advocating a return to archaic pronouns. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. I love reading feedback, and I love and it boosts the algorithm so that more people can see my videos. And so please start using archaic pronouns in conversational language. Start using thou and ye and thee today. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I'll see you guys next time.